super hit South film, RRR, submits its nominations for the Oscars. The makers submit nominations in all major categories. Makers submit the film in the Best Motion Picture category. Nominations also submitted for Best Actor, Director. Nominations submitted for Best Visual Effects. The makers have submitted the film in all major categories, including that of Best Motion Picture and Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Supporting Actors, Best Actors. Literally every category, nearly 14 categories that RRR has nominated itself. Of course, this has come in the back of the Indian government, or rather the country not picking RRR as its official entry into the Oscars. Shallow Show is basically India's official entry into the Oscars, but RRR has taken the other route and managed to nominate itself for nearly 14 categories. Let me quickly cut across to Akshata, tracking that story for us. Akshata, very disappointed. RRR has not stayed silent. In fact, the filmmakers have gone through the for your consideration route to nominate themselves for the Oscars, and possibly every category that they've nominated themselves, and they've got critical acclaim worldwide. So why not?
Very, very true, Nabila. And a few weeks back here in India today, we had said that the makers were considering this move after the government had officially announced that RRR wasn't the nominee from India. What we're talking about right now is RRR, the makers, having approached the Academy directly and nominating themselves in 15 categories. You pointed out some of those. The important ones, of course, are Best Motion Picture, Best Director, where S.S. Rajamouli's name has been mentioned. For Best Actor, Charan as well as Junior NTR. Best Supporting Actress, Alia Bhatt's name. Best Supporting Actor, Ajay Devgan. Best Original Song, Natu Natu, which is in Telugu, Nachu Nachu in Hindi. So this film, of course, which did so exceptionally well in India, has interestingly been getting also a lot of buzz abroad, Nabila. Huge reception. It's open to full houses. A lot of critics have praised the film for not just its storyline, but for the amazing graphics, etc. So it's because of that it's not just a clamor, interestingly, in India among Rajamouli fans, among RRR fans, but also abroad. You see so many critics from many internationally acclaimed magazines who are saying that RRR must be nominated. In fact, when the announcement was made by the government, when they'd chosen a film that wasn't RRR, there were many international critics who came out and said that this was a big mistake by the Indian government, and that their biggest shot at winning the Oscar was by nominating RRR. So now we'll have to see what happens. Essentially, the process kickstarts now. They've gone ahead and said that, look, we're throwing our hat in the ring, but the Academy now will have to watch the film. All of those who are part of the panel, the esteemed panel that decides who is awarded the Oscar, or for that matter shortlisted as a nominee, they will have to watch the film and decide if it's worthy of any of these nominations. If it gets shortlisted, that by itself is a huge deal. But why should we stop at that, is what many RRR fans and makers are saying. They're saying we're going to be gunning and going all out to ensure that we get that Academy Award, get that Oscar as well. And that's why the step of taking 15 nominations in one go.
Akshata, and I would say that RRR fans are not just in India but worldwide. The film did so well that it somehow united film buffs across the globe for their storyline, which was interesting, and the VFX, the special effects, and the delivery, the action, the songs, all of it. It was a thorough entertainer which has raked in close to 1,200 crores. So they've surpassed several milestones. RRR certainly deserves to be in the list of nominations, but they were quite upset. There was a huge campaign that was floated on social media saying that RRR has been ignored. And then Shallow Show was India's official nomination, and there were allegations that Shallow Show is in fact a copy of an Italian film. So in the heels of that, it appears that RRR as a film from India might just have an edge.
Very true. And not just that, Nabila, there was a lot of talk about this being a Gujarati film, time to elections, political decision, etc. But you look at RRR, a film, that's essentially a massive blockbuster in India. It was something that reached out to the masses, huge hit. The Hindi version, the Telugu version, all of it did exceptionally well. For Rajamouli as a filmmaker, of course, he was thrust into the national spotlight with the Bahubali series. But I think what RRR has done essentially for Rajamouli is that it's brought him into into the global spotlight as well. The fact that this film is opening to rave reviews in so many film festivals in America, in the United Kingdom and several other places, to standing ovations, which we have gotten images of as well. That itself shows you that there is huge popularity for this film, because quite simply, let's put it this way, Hollywood has never ever seen or produced anything of this kind. This kind of magnum opus is something that perhaps we are best at. We take pride in it, and that's why it's being put out there for the world to see. Now, of course, we'll all be coming together to root for both the films. There's no doubt that we're going to be rooting for RRR as well. The makers did make it very, very clear from day one, from the moment they knew that the government hasn't nominated RRR, that they would take the necessary steps to approach the Academy and go ahead and nominate themselves in several categories. Now, if they get shortlisted, that's a huge, huge deal for us. And going by at least many of the critics, many of the experts who track the Oscars annually every single year, they're actually going ahead and naming RRR as a favorite right now.
Absolutely, and why not? It was a thorough, all out and out entertainer. Akshita, thank you very much for joining us.